this is going to be another NBA edition, and since the Philadelphia 76ers were so speedily removed from the NBA playoffs, getting swept in 4 games, I kind of thought about, was all of their tanking worth the actual team and the product that they have? And should they kind of start the fire sale, which a lot of people are suggesting that they should? There was a time between 2013 and 2017, roughly, that the Philadelphia 76ers just were a god-awful basketball team. We're going to go back to 2013, and we're just going to see how they were mismanaged, especially in their draft, because had they drafted a little bit better, we probably wouldn't be having the same kind of conversation that we are right now. Now, granted, we're all not genies, we don't have a magic ball, so we don't know if, in fact, they took these players, that they even would have been available to take some of the other players that they did. So now, in 2013, the Philadelphia 76ers selected 11. Now, it's still bad, it's not top 5, but it's almost top 10. And in that particular draft, they picked Michael Carter-Williams. Now, if people are familiar with this particular draft class in 2013, the league MVP right now, Giannis, who plays for the Milwaukee Bucks, was taken with the 15th pick in that very same draft. Granted, yes, there were 14 other teams that could have taken him aside from the Philadelphia 76ers, but he was on the board when the 76ers were picking. So that's in 2013. In 2014, they selected 3rd overall, and they selected Joel Embiid. Now, granted, I think out of the top 5 picks, they probably got one of the better players. And in the first round, it's kind of debatable. So we kind of give them a pass on 2014. But when we start getting into 2015 and 2016, you'll notice a significant difference. So in 2015, they selected 3rd again, and they selected Jahlil Okafor. Now, this is one of those drafts where 1 pick later, Kristaps Porzingis was taken by my New York Knicks. Granted, he's not a Knick anymore, and granted, he did have some injuries, but we can all agree that Porzingis is a better player than Okafor. Now, just listening to the 3 picks that we just said, they could have had Giannis, Joel Embiid, and they could have had Porzingis. Now, that is a fucking frightening thing to think of, and how dominating would they be? But if they didn't even take a big man in Jahlil Okafor, Devin Booker was available in this particular draft, and he went 13th overall to the Phoenix Suns. So now, they could have had Giannis, Joel Embiid, and Devin Booker. I dare you to pick another 3 players in the NBA right now who would be more dominant. And if this was that team, it's either going to be Booker or it's going to be Giannis, who are just going to be scoring, and you have to protect them both. So this was one of those where I was a little bit more so concerned in the 2015 draft. Then we go to the 2016 draft. The Philadelphia 76ers selected 1st overall, and in that year they took Ben Simmons. Now, had they taken Devin Booker the year before, they wouldn't have needed the point guard, and probably because Simmons was hurt was another reason why they got swept out of the playoffs, but that's neither here nor there. And in this particular draft, Pascal Siakam, who is another MVP caliber player, was taken 27th overall by the Toronto Raptors. So now, if, and this is if, because I don't want to make him jump all the way up, because a lot of these people in this particular draft would have gone and taken Siakam number 1, knowing what his production is now. But just listening to so far some of the names that I've said, the 76ers had a chance at Giannis and didn't take him. Then they took Joel Embiid. Then they could have taken Devin Booker. And then in this particular draft, they could have taken Siakam. So that is just dominant. But moving along to the 2017 draft. In the 2017 draft, the Philadelphia 76ers selected 1st overall again. And now they took Markelle Fultz. Jason Tatum was on the board. He's a much better player than Fultz, in my opinion. They probably could have gone that way. Donovan Mitchell is another one of those names who stands out for me. He plays for the Nuggets. Would he have been worthy of the number 1 overall pick? I don't know. And had the 76ers drafted all of those players that I had just said, with Giannis, Joel Embiid, and Devin Booker, Pascal Siakam, there's no way in hell that they're actually drafting 1st overall in 2017. Now, it's an interesting thought to see of how the talent was evaluated in the team that they built. So now they have Tobias Harris, who they're paying basically $33 million a year. They have Al Horford, who's 33 years old, and they're paying $28 million a year. And then they have Joel Embiid, who they're paying a little over $27.5 million a year. Now, those three players, Harris accounts for 25% of the 76ers salary cap, Horford accounts for 21%, and Embiid counts for 21%. Ben Simmons is still on his rookie deal and he's making $8.1 million, so he's not really there yet, but pretty soon he's going to be there, and then he's going to be another one of these guys who they're going to pay. But now, listening to the names and listening to the team that they have, even if they replace Harris's contract or Horford's contract with Ben Simmons, it still leaves the same product on the court. So should they trade one of these guys or two of these guys away and get some draft picks? Now, we've seen what they've done with their draft picks, where they swung and missed quite a few times on some of the superstar talent that they could have had. And do you trust their front office enough? And I'm going to say no, but unfortunately, this is the best that this particular team can do. So now you have to get rid of some of these guys who you're paying $33 million a year. And when people hear me say that, they're going to go, well, who's going to take this dude? The 76ers have an advantage here because not this year, but the following year, there's a very loaded NBA free agency class. And if these are expiring contracts, there are going to be teams who are going to want to take on an expiring $30 million contract because they know that they're not going to re-sign the dude who they traded for, and they're going to use that cap space that they don't have now, but they will in a year, to go after someone like Kawhi Leonard or LeBron James, because they're both free agents in 2 years. So I think that the 76ers should seriously reconsider trading some of these guys. This is it. Even if they would have had Ben Simmons, maybe they get to the second round. But next year, the Brooklyn Nets are going to be good because Kevin Durant comes back. So are you going to be okay with mediocrity, or should you just trade the assets that you have now and try to build for the future? I know you already tanked once, and we saw how that turned out. You got a decent team, but not a great team. Let's see what you guys can do when you trade one of these $30 million a year players. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Please follow me on Instagram at Raw Sports Talk. Follow me on Twitter at Raw Sports Talk 1. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. I'm out.
Ooh, baby, I like it raw.